House Flipping HQ Podcast, Episode 1.
This is the House Flipping HQ Podcast.
Giving you the strategies, techniques, and inside secrets of house flipping from today's top house flipping experts. House Flipping HQ.
Your ultimate house flipping resource for intelligent real estate investing and financial freedom.
Now, let's get flipping with your host, Justin Williams.
Hey, welcome to the very first episode of the House Flipping HQ Podcast. I'm super excited to finally get this show going. I tell you what, I've gotten pretty good at flipping houses over the past several years, but this techie stuff for me is tough. It's been way more work than I could ever imagine, but we're getting it figured out. We've gotten it figured out, and we are ready to get this house flipping party started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Justin Williams. I've been a full-time real estate investor for just over 6.5 years. During that time, I've flipped over 300 houses, and we're currently flipping about 100 houses a year. So most of those 300 houses have been within the last couple years. I recently put together a website at houseflippinghq.com where I teach you everything there is to know about flipping houses and how you can create your own house flipping business. So if you haven't had a chance yet, please go over to houseflippinghq.com, check out the website, check out all the posts and articles and how-tos and case studies that we put together. Leave any questions or comments you have in the comments section, and we'll be more than happy to get back with you on those. So typically here on the podcast, I'll be interviewing other house flipping experts, but for today, it's just going to be you and me. I wanted to give you more of an introduction to what we're trying to accomplish here and tell you a little more about myself and how I got involved in house flipping. Okay, so first off, you're probably wondering, why in the world would I be giving away all this valuable information for free when I could potentially be selling it for $10,000, $20,000, $25,000? Well, that's a good question. And after all the work I realized it's been, maybe I would have changed my mind. No, just kidding. In all honesty, let me try to explain by telling you a little more of my story. In May of 2007, my wife and I went to our very first real estate investing seminar. We were excited, but we were really overwhelmed with everything we had learned over the course of those few days. Fortunately, for the low price of only $10,000, we were offered a coaching program. To make it even better, for $5,000, we were offered an asset protection program. I mean, after all, we'd have to be able to protect all those assets would soon be acquiring, right? To make things even better, a new car would be awarded to the student who showed the most improvement or showed the most promise during the course of that year. So, I mean, okay, so $15,000 to make millions and the chance to win a new car. I mean, in our mind, it was a no-brainer. Well, at least it seemed like it at the time. As it turned out, our so-called mentor ended up being nothing more than an information marketer. And the asset protection program, to this day, I'm still not even sure exactly what it is that we paid for. Oh, but the car. That's the good part. We actually won the car. We were so excited. But just like every other broken promise, it was never delivered. To this day, I still get a little emotional every time I see a Chrysler 300. Now, I would like to say that we learned our lesson quickly, but unfortunately, those first couple of years, we probably spent close to about $40,000 on coaching programs, courses, seminars, traveling. And really, it was mainly from these guys who were basically information marketers. They tried to upsell us every single chance they had. Their main goal was to get us to swipe our credit card yet another time. And they just weren't really doing the business. Now, I wish I could say we were the exception to the rule. These kind of things don't really happen that often. But anyone who's in this industry would know that that would be far from the truth. This industry is full of information marketers who want nothing more than to get you to swipe your credit cards, upsell you every chance they get. And I've seen way too many people being taken advantage of by them, being promised the world, but being left with nothing more than a pile of credit card debt and faded dreams. My goal is to create with House Flipping HQ exactly what I wish I would have had when I first got started in this business. Since that first seminar, I've been able to connect with some great investors who are actually doing the business and really know their stuff. Each week on the podcast, I'll be interviewing one of them, and we'll be going through their journey of how they got started in the business and achieved the success that they are currently experiencing today. We will then dive into their business to find out exactly what they are doing in today's market to achieve success in their house flipping business. We'll unveil the curtain on how they are buying, financing, fixing, and selling properties, and the systems they use to operate and run their business, and show you exactly how you can do the same. For every episode, we'll have what I refer to as show notes. They will be posted on the houseflippinghq.com website under the podcast section, and will give you the highlights of the show along with any of the links we discussed on that day's show. So if you are driving or working out while listening, this will be a great way for you to be able to reference later on to what we talked about. You can also go to the show notes to leave any comments or questions regarding the show, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you on those. If you like what we are sharing on the show and get any value out of it, please head over to iTunes, subscribe to the show, and leave us an honest 5-star rating and review. The more subscriptions, ratings, and reviews we receive, the more iTunes will publicize our show, and the more our community will grow, and the better off we all will be. So if you want to say thank you in any way, this will be probably the best way you can do that. Once again, my goal is to create the world's most comprehensive, ultimate house flipping resource, a place where you can go to learn everything there is to know about flipping houses. Not only flipping houses, but how to create your own house flipping business, a business that will work for you and not just have you work for it. Now, I'm not going to tell you that creating your own house flipping business is going to be easy. In fact, that couldn't be further from the truth. But if you are willing to learn, work really hard, and take some massive, massive action, I promise you it will be more than worth it in the end. And we'll be here for you every step of the way. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this house flipping show on the road. We will see you in the next episode and at houseflippinghq.com. Until then, happy house flipping.
This has been the House Flipping HQ podcast.
Your ultimate house flipping resource for intelligent real estate investing and financial freedom.
Check out amazing tutorials, blogs, how-tos, and other inspiring podcasts with house flipping experts at houseflippinghq.com. houseflippinghq.com.